What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, okay, we're coming back to Meat Loaf. Yes, indeed, Meat Loaf fans feeling you. Come on now. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all the clicks and the lights and the bibbity bop, do me a favor before you do all that stuff. Please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Michael Milholland, and it was also the winner of the Patreon request prioritization poll, winning with 49% of the vote, moving it from number 913 in the queue straight up to number 1. So yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, your voice, your vote does matter. They all want to see me react to this. It is Meat Loaf with a tune called For Crying Out Loud. Now, have I heard the song before? I don't think so. The title doesn't ring a bell. It really doesn't. I've heard a number of Meat Loaf songs that I have no idea what the titles are. I've heard them in passing, and I know it's Meat Loaf, but like I never caught the name of the song. So there is a chance that I may have heard this before. So I don't know. We'll have to kind of play it by ear. As always, though, if I start listening to the song and I go, yeah, I recognize this song, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. We had a problem with this. The first link, the original link that Michael gave me, it has since been blocked worldwide by WMG, World Music Group. They now have blocked this video worldwide, so I can't use the video, unfortunately. So I looked at the song, and when in doubt, go with the studio recording, right? Which is what I decided to do, and off the official page. So here's hoping everything works out all right. So unfortunately, I was not able to use the link that Michael gave me. I have to use the studio version that came off of Meat Loaf's official page. So this was posted by Meat Loaf, surprise, surprise, and the video has 4.4 million views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. For Crying Out Loud. That's all I got. We do have some artwork up here. It does say Meat Loaf. It is the video that I chose. It came off of the official page, so I can only assume that we're in the right spot here. So, because I picked it. So we'll see what happens here. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
I was lost till you were found, and I never knew how far down I was falling before I reached the bottom. Well, I was cold and you were fire, and I never knew how the fire could be burning on the edge of the ice field. And now the chilly California wind is blowing down our bodies again, and we're sinking deeper and deeper
Yep.
In the chilly California sand. Oh, I know you belong inside my aching heart. And can't you see my faded Levi's bursting apart? And don't you hear me crying?
Minor modulation.
Don't go. And don't you hear me screaming? How was I to know? I'm in the middle of nowhere, near the end of the line. But there's a border to somewhere waiting, and there's a tank full of time. Oh, give me just another moment to see the light of the day, and take me to another land where I don't have to stay. And I'm gonna need somebody to make me feel like you do. And I'll receive somebody with open arms, open eyes, open up the sky, let the planet that I love shine through.
Some really nice movement around between major and minor modes. Not just modulations either. We're talking about full-blown key changes. It's nice. Some really nice movement, and it all makes sense. And here's the thing that's really kind of impressing me more than anything else. They're not staying on any one particular spot for too long, but at the same time, they're not rushing it either, and they're not forcing it. Everything feels very natural, like it's meant to be. Like it doesn't feel forced. You know what I mean? It's not like they're taking a shoehorn and trying to cram as many key changes and modulations as possible into X amount of time. No, they're doing it. I mean, they are doing it frequently, but not too frequently, and they're not rushing each one and not giving it a chance to mellow out. You know what I mean? They're giving each time they change key or they modulate, whichever one the case may be, they're giving it enough time to set and giving the listener a chance to really get into it and get absorbed into it. And that's nice. It's smart songwriting. It really is. I will absolutely give credit where credit's due. Vocally, it's about what I was expecting. You know, I saw the way the song started. You know, was listening to it, very slow, very relaxed, really going for that ballad feel. And over the course of the last 2.5 minutes, it's kicked up and kicked up and kicked up and kicked up and kicked up. And it's nice. It's nice. I'm glad to see that. I'm glad to see that growth. And along with the growth within the song, Meat Loaf's vocals have also increased in intensity and power and projection. So yeah, it all makes sense. Everything about this makes sense. I can absolutely see why people love this. Unfortunately, I am not one of those people. I'm just not, man. I'm not, I hate to say it, I'm not digging it. I mean, it's vocals and piano, and that's all it is. Now, are they doing a great job with what they're doing? Absolutely. I will absolutely give credit where credit's due, you know, and I recognize that it takes a lot of talent and it takes a lot of thought to write a song like this. And I'll give them credit for that. And they're executing it well. I'll give them credit for that. Personally, though, this is probably going to be the one time and only time that I'll ever listen to this song. It's not my cup of tea, guys. It's just not. Anyway, let's keep going here.
For crying out loud, you know how I love you. For crying out loud, you know how I love you. For crying out loud, you know I love you. was damned and you were saved, and I never knew how enslaved I was, kneeling in the chains of my master. I could laugh, oh, but you could cry, and I never knew just how high I was flying, oh, with you right above me. And now the chilly California wind is blowing down our bodies again, and we're sinking deeper and deeper in the chilly California sand. Oh, I know you belong inside my aching heart. And can't you see my faded leaf eyes bursting apart? And don't you hear me crying, oh, babe, don't go. And don't you hear me screaming, how was I to know? I'm in the middle of nowhere, needing another line. But there's a border to somewhere waiting, and there's a table of time. Oh, give me just another moment to see the light of the day, and take me to another land where I don't have to stay. And I'm gonna need somebody to make me feel like you do. And I will receive somebody with open arms, open arms, open up the sky to find that a love shall do. I cry out loud, you know how I love you. I cry out loud, you know how I love you. Oh, I cry out loud, you know how I love you. I cry out loud, you know I love you.
Not gonna lie to you, folks. This song's dragging. It's really dragging. Okay. It's not dragging as much ever since the kicked in with the drums and the bass. That definitely helped make up some time. But man, before it kicked in, I was looking at the time. There was 5.5 minutes left, and I thought to myself, "Good Lord, it feels like 7.5." Now we're about the 6-minute mark. It's still kind of dragging, but it's not 2 minutes dragging. It's only about a minute dragging. The introduction, adding in the drums, good choice. Definitely a good choice. Adding in the bass, very good choice as well. The string addition that they did prior, it definitely helped fill out the sound. Replacing the keyboard and having the strings alone. Now the keyboard the piano's joined back in again with the strings. Very full sounding, very powerful sounding. The drums I feel like the drums in the mix are being overdriven. Like you listen to the toms, in particular the toms. When the drums playing on the toms, I'm getting like some overdrive on them, some distortion on them. And I know it's not because they put effects on it. It's because they're a little overdriven in the mix. Really, I think about dialing those back a little bit. I don't know. A little distracting. I mean, part of me likes it. Part of me likes that because it definitely gives the drums a little more edginess to it. But at the same time, it is also a little distracting. So I don't know. I guess it's personal preference. You know, there's going to be people who are going to hear those overdriven drums and go, "Oh, I love that." And there's going to be people like myself who are going to be like, "It's kind of distracting from everything else that's happening in the song. It's kind of taking the focus." I don't know. I guess that's personal preference. Let's finish this out and we'll get to the review.
For taking in the rain when I'm feeling so dry, for giving me the answers when I'm asking you why. And my, oh my, for that I thank you. For taking in the sun when I'm feeling so cold, for giving me a child when my body is old. And don't you know, for that I need you. For coming to my room when you know I'm alone, for finding me a highway, for driving me home. And you gotta know, for that I serve you. For pulling me away when I'm starting to fall, for revving me up when I'm starting to stall. And all in all, for that I want you. For taking and for giving and for playing the game, for praying for my future in the days that remain. Oh, and most of all, for crying out loud, for that I love you. Oh, and most of all, for crying out loud, for that I love you. Oh, and most of all, for crying out loud, for that I love you. When you cry, you know I love you.
Yeah, not my cup of tea. Absolutely not my cup of tea. But looking at the song objectively, though, there's some good stuff happening there, that's for sure. Let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review, and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Meat Loaf with For Crying Out Loud. This was a request from Michael Milholland, and it was also the winner of the Patreon Request Prioritization Poll, winning with 49% of the vote. Moving up for number 913 in the queue, straight up to number 1. So yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, your voice, your vote does matter. Okay, let's just get to it. Let's just rip off the Band-Aid. On a scale of 1 to 10, believe it or not, it may not be my cup of tea, but I'm going to give that an 8.3. Yeah, 8.3. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
I want to be very clear that this is not for me. Absolutely not. This will never go on any playlist. This is just not my thing, man. It's not my bag. It's not my gig. It's not my jam. I'm sure there are people out there who love this song. And listen, they are absolutely welcome to enjoy this song as much as they do. Their opinions are absolutely valid. And I'm not going to try and say, things like I'm not going to say things like, oh, those people are out of their mind. No. Listen, I get it. I absolutely get it. Different strokes for different folks. And some people are going to love things other people can't stand. And I'm definitely in the latter. I was not a fan of this song. If I can go through the rest of my life without ever hearing this song ever again, I'll be just fine with that. Now, having said that, though, the song on its own, as the song stands, from a composition standpoint, from a recording standpoint, from an execution standpoint, I gotta say, they did a great job. They really did. Just the chordal progressions alone, constantly moving between major and minor modes, while at the same time shifting keys. You heard a number of key changes, and each time they would shift keys, they would do the major, then they would do the minor, or sometimes they would do the minor and then transition to the major. It was done very well. Every single time they changed, whether they were changing key or changing mode, it made sense. Like, not to the point of being predictable, but when they would do it, I never once found myself scratching my head going, I wonder why they did that. Nope. That never happened. Every single time they did, it made perfect sense. They didn't do it so frequently that, people were getting lost, but at the same time, they didn't do it so infrequently that people would get bored and the song would become stagnant. No, that never happened. Like, they figured out a great formula for when to change keys to keep things interesting, keep the listener invested, and keep the song moving along. That alone, that's a great job. It really is. Combine that with some great arrangements, great arranging, knowing when to have voices come in, knowing when to have voices come out, knowing how to play with dynamics, knowing how to play around with tempo, all in ways that enhance the song. The utilization starting off with keyboard, purely piano and vocals, and then gradually increasing the tempo, increasing the tempo, increasing the tempo, increasing the tempo, increasing the tempo. Tempo goes faster and faster and faster and faster. That was fun. It kept, again, keeping the listener vested. It didn't turn into a snooze fest. Could you imagine if they had kept that song at the same tempo they started at for the entire song? Could you imagine? Man, you would have watched me fall asleep on the channel. I guarantee you, I would have conked out. But luckily they didn't do that. And then when they brought the piano out, they brought in the strings. No more piano, just strings. They brought in the bass. They brought in the piano back in. And then they brought in, later on, they brought in the drums. All adding voices, staggered entrances, and more power, more volume, more intensity, more fullness. And then they sucked it all out and brought it back to piano, just like they did at the beginning. It made sense. Everything they did with their voicings made sense. Speaking of voices, let's get to the big one here. Meat Loaf's vocals on this. A fine performance. Absolutely fine performance. Knowing how to utilize his vocal talents to their best of their abilities in each particular sections of the song. When we had the beginning, slower tempo, piano only, he kept his vocals very reserved, breathy even, to help express what was being told within within the story of the song. As the song got more intense, his vocals got more intense. His vocals were always fitting the mood and tempo and style and feel of the song, no matter where the song went. When the song came down, his vocals came down. When the song came back up, his vocals came back up. There was never a time where the song bottomed out, and we got super soft and he stayed up there. No, he was constantly being aware, being sensitive to what was happening for the song, and being aware and sensitive to what the song needed from him vocally. So, fine job across the board from him. Listen, I don't have to, I've said this on the channel many, many times. I don't have to love a song to give it a great score. In this case, I wasn't a fan. Personally, I will never listen to this song ever again. Not if I can help it. But at the same time, looking at the song objectively, there's no reason to not give it the score, a great score of 8.3. I think that's exactly what the song deserves. My only gripe about it, the song, honestly, was that one section where the drums came in. I felt like the drums were a little overdriven in the mix. Now, that might be intentional. It may very well be. They may be doing that for some kind of an effect. I don't know what the effect is. Because I don't know. I don't know why you would want to have drums overdriven, but I mean, maybe they have their reasons. Okay, fine. Do I like it? Nope. No, I don't. I just wasn't a fan of that part. But overall, as the song goes, though, 8.3, I got no issue giving it that score. Like I said, I didn't like it, but it deserves a great score of 8.3. So that's where we're at, and that's where we're going to stay. So let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We got an 8.3, which is a great scale rating, 4 to 5 stars, and an A- letter grade. Take your pick. I don't care, whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me. But if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for the night, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later, peace.